Okay, it's time to talk economics. That's right. It's time for economics.
What was it, dear? Economics!
Millennials are poor. And I don't think it's because we are lazy. That's what I want to address here. I actually believe millennials are the most successful generation by far when it comes to getting paid, getting better jobs than the previous generation anyway. So why are most millennials complaining that they don't have enough saved up for retirement? One, I think with most issues is that people don't know how much money they need to live for the rest of their lives. So I think millennials are actually millennials and even Gen Zers are falling into this, like they like have like a goal, but they don't know how to attain it because it's like, yeah, I want to get rich, but it's like they don't have like a number that they need to live off of. So definitely find that number. That would be number one. I mean, if you never set a goal, you'll never achieve it. And you could have $1 million, like that would be enough to retire. Like $1 million could be enough to retire if you establish like effective spending habits. The second issue that I notice, and which is obviously the most obvious one, is that millennials live beyond their means. I think it's because that we don't know how to spend our money, and we don't know what to spend our money on. I mean, like most millennials, like even if they receive $5,000 a month, you wouldn't have any retirement because you'll blow it all on strippers and cocaine or whatever the flip you're spending it on. Yet someone living on $500 a month but knows how to save will generate millions of dollars in retirement because they invested in investments. But this begs the question, if spending money on frivolous things doesn't generate wealth, what will? And also, how can I tell the difference between cocaine and an investment like stocks, right? Because like we all know cocaine is a terrible asset to invest in, but is there a consensus that the stock market and other assets that we invest in, are they? Essentially what I'm saying is the extremes are it's easy to tell on the extremes, like, okay, we obviously aren't going to buy $50,000 worth of heroin, right? Because we'll end up homeless. It's like, we all know that. But I mean, is it beneficial to pay for my daughter's student loans? Should I buy clothes or should I buy cars? Right? Like when we get into this like murky middle ground, it becomes very, very nuanced about like, I mean, is it irresponsible to pay $10,000 on McDonald's, or is that a good investment? I don't know. So this video will establish and categorize every product by the most profitable to the least profitable. This information comes from The Wealth of Nations, The Intelligent Investors, and Poverty, Riches, and Wealth. You can check out those books. I'll put them on the screen right now. Here they are. Boom. Check out these books. Very good. They'll make you money. Yes. So let's start at the bottom of this pyramid. Boom, here's the pyramid. Whoa, here's a pyramid. Here's a pyramid of every, what do I call it? Object or thing you can buy. I'll call it the thing you can buy. Starting from the worst thing you can spend your money on, and we'll work our way to the top, to the best products that we can spend our money on. The first category, it's the lowest on the totem pole, is defined as consumables. Consumables are products you buy that have a one-time use. Examples include food, water, drugs, cocaine, cigarettes, gambling, alcohol, and other things that just essentially disappear. So after, like, you can't share it essentially. Like there's no value being saved. Like you use it and it's gone. And also it like will decay fast. Like, so you buy an orange for $2 and then you eat it and then it's gone. Right? So the value of the orange is temporary, meaning you must use it or it will go bad in a week, So so essentially, like all of your money when you throw it into consumables will disappear. This category is essentially the cost of living. If you don't get your consumables, you'll probably die. If you don't have enough water, you'll die. If you don't have enough food, you're going to die. So you need to buy this. Also, you notice you can't eat all your food for the rest of your life immediately. It needs to be eaten over time. So this category will always generate you $0 of wealth in the future. So while you're looking at your budget, Try to avoid spending money on consumables. You need to limit. This is the worst category to spend any of your money on. This should be the first thing you cut out when you're in a tough bind, because being full won't last you more than a few hours. Best to pay rent first. And this brings me to my next category, level 2. One up on the rung, utilities. These are things like rent, electricity, tap water, insurance, other bills that you pay, etc. These utilities are products that generate you some longevity. For instance, you only need to pay your rent once a month, and then you're good for like 30 days. Plus, you get much more bang for your buck from electricity and running water than you do for food. For instance, you can do a lot more with electricity than with an orange. I mean, besides eating an orange, there isn't much you can do with it. With electricity, you can set at night, set up internet, mine Bitcoin, charge people to use your electricity. You can use this electricity to generate wealth and get you a new job, like to get on the internet and to interact with people and become a YouTuber. Oh my gosh, and all because you're paying your electric bill. I'm just trying to illustrate, essentially, these are probably bad examples, but I'm just trying to illustrate that there is more wealth to be extracted from having electricity in your house than having a full fridge, full of food, or an orange, or whatever. Although not much, because it's only one rung up, there is still more value, more wealth to be gained from the second category here, utilities. For the next category of products, we have level 3. This is called depreciating assets. These are products that after you buy them, you can resell them for later, but normally for less than you paid for. This includes clothes, shoes, cars, computers, furniture, fixtures, technology, instruments, collectibles. This is a very big category and can help generate a few $100s reselling your used products. I mean, you've seen this, right? You resell furniture like an old couch. You spend like $1,000 on the couch. You use it for 5 years, and then you go, all right, I'm going to resell it on Craigslist for $200. All right, cool. And depreciating means that the value will decrease over time. So that's why they're called, this category is depreciating assets, right? A new car with 0 miles on it is often more expensive than an old car with 200K. So if you buy a brand new car, use it for a little bit, and you can sell it for maybe half the value, right? Now, I say often with new cars because it's not always the case, because there are some cars that are like a collectibles and might be worth more tomorrow than today. So like an old Lamborghini, like a 1980s Lamborghini, the first generated Lamborghini, the legacy plates, that might run for more than it was originally worth, So sometimes cars don't fall into depreciating assets, but they actually fall into the level 4. That gets me to my next. We have level 4, appreciating assets. These are things that you buy today and will be worth more in the future. That is what appreciating means, that the value will increase over time. This category includes stocks, corporate and government bonds, CDs, collectible cars, metals like gold, silver, platinum, copper, real estate, crypto, foreign exchanges, private businesses, and relationships. Very, very important to have relationships on there too as well, because it's not just about money. It's also about generating relational equity. Relationships are very, very important. Building relationships with your mom, building relationships with your family. I want to stress that more and more. So these things will more often than not make you more money, and rich people buy mostly appreciating assets. I actually saw a statistic that rich people spend 90% of their wealth on appreciating assets. They take 90% of it. So if someone gets paid, $1 million a year, they'll take $900,000 of that and throw it into the appreciating assets. And the other 100K they spend on everything else. So if you're looking at this, the previous 3 levels don't make you any money. So you should be spending all your money, just like rich people do, spending all your money on level 4, appreciating assets. That's the goal, is to buy as much appreciating assets as you can, is to work. I mean, obviously get a good job, generate money, but instead of spending it on stupid stuff like cars, video games, which is all level 3, furniture, food, or even paying your bills, try and figure out how to limit what you spend on these bottom 3 categories and throw them all into level 4. Throw them into your IRA, throw them into your stocks, throw them into your bonds, throw them into your gold assets. Constantly try to be spending money on things that will generate you money in the future. I mean, that's what rich people do. Rich people have always done this, and that's, and you've seen them create legacy of wealth, right? You have the Rothschilds, or the Medici family, or even freaking Donald Trump's family, right? You have like this generational wealth that is built because of things like compound interest, because this is where compound interest comes in. And I say compound interest, it's very, very complicated, but it's beyond the scope of what I want to explain. I just want to say that there are a very few things that will appreciate over time. Stocks, corporate bonds, government bonds, CDs, collectible cars, metals, real estate, crypto and foreign exchange, private businesses, and relationships. These things are the only things in life worth spending your time and money on. Again, time is money, as Benjamin Franklin said. So spend your time and money on these level 4 appreciating assets, and spend less time and money on the bottom 3, depreciating assets, utilities, and consumables. All right, guys, that's the end of my economic talk. Good luck. Make money.
What was it, dear? Economics!